we keep talking about teams that are hot. So I think it's time to jump into the power rankings.
Let's do it.
So what we do for anybody that is listening or watching this for the very first time, I do my own power rankings. Logan does his own power rankings. We go through them. We either agree or we don't. But either way, right now we're doing 5, but we have honorable mentions and we don't always get along. So it's around 7 to 8 power rankings is what we're going to do. But I think we're probably going to be really close on our first couple of ones.
We've been close so far. I think the beginning of this year has been fairly easy-ish.
Yep.
To agree.
Yep.
I think later on there'll be some hot teams that are all struggling for position later that will disagree. I think lately it's been pretty good. We're getting along these days.
We're getting along. And at the end of the day, there's some teams that should be up there. And for me, this was the toughest week because there's starting to be a little bit of a shakeup.
Yes.
And I don't know. This is pretty exciting. And again, this is our take. We do it a little bit different. We base it off, records, run differential, whatever we think. We don't look at other power rankings by the experts. This is ours. So let's go. I'm gonna lead it off here. I have the Dodgers as my number 1, 19-7 overall, 7-3 in the last 10. They didn't lose a game at all last week. That's pretty impressive. And the run differential for the Dodgers is plus 74.
Yep, that's good.
That's pretty good.
That's good. Runs allowed. I have 65. Runs scored 135. Like that's pretty decent.
That's some good baseball. That's a championship caliber team right there. If they can hold that up, which
against teams 500 or above, 8-5.
Yeah, that's a big key too, especially later in the year. Obviously, playoffs, you're going to be playing teams that are over 500, and we talked about it the last little bit. The NL West, just a star-studded team. I mean, Arizona is the on paper the worst record in that division, and they're still 15-14. I mean, they're above 500, but they're only 5 games back in an early season. So good division, and they're playing good ball. So who'd you have number 1?
I have the Dodgers.
Hey-o,
135 runs scored, 65 runs against. That will do it for me.
That's a good one, which for anybody that didn't watch last week, I think that was a little flopperoni. I think we had the Yankees as number 1, Dodgers number 2. If I do recall, prove us wrong. Go back and watch it or re-listen to it. But we did have, I believe, the Yankees number 1. But for me, we'll transition into number 2. I have the Yankees at number 2. They're 19-8. 8-2 in their last 10. There's something like 12-2 in their last 14. Run differential of plus 48.
Yep. Yankees are pitching.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Everyone knows the Yankees are going to score runs. 7-3 against teams over 500 or even.
Yep.
But 124 runs scored, 75 runs allowed.
Wow.
By far, as we're recording this right now, by far the lowest in the American League, and basically only trailing the Dodgers by 10.
Yeah. I mean, obviously
that's pitching from a Yankees team that the last couple of years hasn't had pitching. You put those hitters with pitching and health, and that team is really, really good.
Unreal. I mean, and Garrett Cole got off to a terrible start, and especially for what he makes and for what he can do. In his last 3 starts,
he figured it out,
getting better. So my take is he found a new substance that isn't banned yet. That's probably why. All kidding aside, I'm going to be tough on Cole because he could still be in a Pirate uniform, but he's not. And neither are the Pirates in not even our honorable mention of one of the top teams. But anyways, let's go on before I start crying. My number 3 is going to be the Mets. Number 3. They didn't have the greatest a week, but this is the power ranking so far in baseball. They're the first team to 20 wins. So that says something right there. They are 20-10, run differential of plus 36. And like I said, they're the first team to 20. So congrats to the Mets, first team to 20. And that's with Scherzer getting his first loss of the year too. And no DeGrom.
That's with Scherzer getting his first loss in almost a full year. By I can't remember the number. He had maybe it's 20 days, 340 some days since he took a loss. That's insane.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. They're 9-5 at home, 11-5 away. And that's big.
Huge.
If you're betting the Mets right now, they're on a roll, 9-4 against teams above 500. There's not much that they're not doing correctly right now. It's the Buck Showalter effect.
Ooh, yeah. It was 24 straight starts, whether throughout all his teams, whether it was the Nationals, the Dodgers, and the Mets, he found a way to win. 15 straight decisions have gone his way. That run dated back to May 30th of last year. And As he
It's
said,
crazy.
he goes, "It's a heck of a run." The 3-time Cy Young winner said, and it was a 3-2 Philly victory in Game 1. Could have went either way, but hey, as he just
It's
a
not like he
stand-up
had a
guy.
blowout.
No,
Like he gave him a chance.
Yep, gave him a chance again. Just an absolute stud. There is a reason that the Mets paid him a lot of money to come over and pitch in New York. But that's who I had at 3. Who'd you have at 3?
The Mets.
Ooh, we're 3 for 3.
3 for 3, baby.
Wow. All right. Well, this might be where we differ. But my number 4, I went with the Padres. The Padres,
Ooh,
7-3 in their last 10. Run differential of +15. Manny Machado, potentially one of the hottest players in baseball. Their pitching staff is not only phenomenal right now, but they're having a good time. I don't know if anybody has seen the video. Yu Darvish kind of came out, and he was just kind of walking, doing his thing. And the entire pitching staff then followed him and copied every one of his moves.
I did see that.
He'd look to the right. They'd all look to the right. And it took a while. Yu Darvish made it all the way to the warning track before he finally realized he was being followed and mocked by his teammates. They are having fun. They are playing phenomenal baseball. Like I said, in a pretty tough division behind the Dodgers, they're still 19-10. All right. They've scored 127 runs, given up 112. That's why there's that +15 differential, but they're 10-5 away, 9-5 at home, 6-6 against teams 500. That's 6 losses of their 10 are against pretty good baseball teams. So that's what I had it for.
Yep. All right. Not a bad pick. Runs against between Dodgers and San Diego, 65 to 112.
Isn't that wild?
That is insane.
Yeah.
The difference. Dodgers had scored at the time of this 8 more runs, but the runs against is considerable. But at the Padres and the Dodgers have won the same amount of games.
Yeah. Yep. Obviously, the Padres. The Padres played a couple more. So maybe the Dodgers played a couple more. They'd have some more losses. But either way, that was.
Padres are right there.
Yeah, they're there. They're playing great ball. And kind of like you said, pitching staff, they're getting it done. They got a good staff. Hitting is there. The defense and the staff has just got to tighten it up a little bit and continue to, be competitive in a tough division. Who'd you have it for?
So I went a little crazy.
That's okay.
San Diego easily could be there. They're close. I just don't trust San Diego yet.
Okay.
Mainly because of what happened last year. I don't know. I don't want to get into it. I have personal feelings. I'm going with Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, okay.
19-10, 7-3 their last 10.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 36 differential, 138 runs scored, 102 runs allowed. But the 138 runs scored is why they're here, and a couple other teams are not.
Yep.
Milwaukee's scoring runs.
They are.
That's crazy. Rowdy Tellez has been a huge part of this.
What a stud.
Former Blue Jay. Love the guy.
So I had, just to let you know, I had the Brewers as like my 6. All right. They're honorable mention. And the only reason they fell out of my top 5 personally is because they just had back-to-back losses against the Braves.
Yep.
So that for me was enough to kind of bump the Padres and then who I had at number 5 and kind of bump them down to 6 because, it is early and there's a lot of good teams. And that's why.
And the Braves had Acuna Jr. come back.
True.
That's a yee for them.
Yeah. That's
last thing about Milwaukee that's hard to judge. 2-3 against teams 500.
True.
But it basically means they just haven't played them. 2-3 is 2 series.
Yep.
Whatever. But if Milwaukee continues to score runs, then they win this division.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they're 7-3 in their last 10 with 2 losses. They could have easily been 9-1 in one of the hottest teams, the hottest team in baseball. And they got off to a slow start. So that was a couple of reasons. The slow start, basing it on this year, but
the slow start, they're playing pretty good ball right now.
Yeah. All right. So
Rowdy Tellez.
Rowdy.
Get him.
All right.
Get him on your fantasy team.
Get him if you can. All right.
He strikes out a lot.
Here's my number 5. You ready for it?
Yep.
Oh, the Rays. They went 6-1 last week. They're 18-11, but they're 7-3 in their last 10. Run differential of +15, and there's a reason that they put up 100 wins last year. And like I said, I just think that they are playing great baseball. Again, 2-4 against teams over 500, but again, some of these teams over 500, they could not finish on you know what I mean, under that 500 or over that 500. 9-4 away, which is a big thing for me to be able to win games on the road. Only 9-7 at home, which there's only probably like 2,000 people watching it anyways.
Total.
But yeah, that's why I went a little crazy. I jumped them up to 5. Maybe there's some teams that deserve it a little more, but it's Tampa Bay, and you know, they're going to be there, and I think they're one of the top 5 teams in baseball right now.
All right, perfect. I don't mind that pick at all. I went with the Angels.
Okay.
As much as I kind of didn't want to.
Yep.
I went with the Angels because I kind of just feel like this might be it for the Angels.
Okay.
Houston has won 7 in a row. Angels are 19-11, plus 27 run differential, 139 runs. They're scoring 112 runs against, 9-6 against teams above 500. That says something. 10-6 at home, 9-5 away. And I just want to see Mike Trout in the playoffs.
Yeah.
However, and surprisingly, in this division, Seattle has kind of fallen off a little bit. They're 13-16, not a big deal, but kind of where I thought they'd be. Anyways, Houston, again, 7 in a row, 8 out of 2 in their last 10. This is still Houston's division until they lose it.
Yep.
The Angels, I don't know. I just have this feeling that the whole Ohtani buzz has become their definition, when really the definition of that team has to be Mike Trout.
Yeah.
It has to be Mike Trout and Anthony Rendon and Ohtani.
And maybe they'll trade for Aaron Judge, and you heard it here first. But yeah, no, I obviously had the Angels as my honorable mentions, and Houston was on there, like you mentioned before. They're 8-2. It's kind of their division until they lose it, and they're on a 7-game winning streak. So how could they not be there? And then one other team that I had kind of in my honorable mention was the Twins, still 18-11, 7-3 in their last 10. They got a 3-game winning streak, 25 run differential. Brian Buxton's a little beat up right now, but we'll see what that does for the lineup. But they've been playing some good ball, and I think Correa too. Was a little beat up as well. So we'll see.
If Buxton and Correa, let's say they miss your 2 weeks to 4 weeks, then I see the Twins falling down towards about 500.
Yep, and that's why
they're in trouble.
And that's why they didn't make my top 5, and I think that's why they didn't make yours. Injuries, and you know, they've been hot, but we'll see what they do there.